Hi, thank you for joining me for today's process video, and today I'm documenting two 3x4 photos from our trip to New York this Christmas, and they were taken from our bedroom window on New Year's Eve morning. It was the sunrise up over Roosevelt Island, and it was just beautiful. So I snapped a couple of photos, one showing St Bart's Church at the bottom with the roof all glowing in the sun, and then the second one just shows the sun peeking behind the buildings. So I wanted to add some strips of paper to the left hand side of the background paper that I've chosen here. It's from Vicki Boutin, Where to Next, and I just thought this was absolutely perfect for a sunrise photos, but I wanted to blank out some of the image, so I'm just using my roller and some white acrylic paint, which I've just watered down ever so slightly, just to blank out that background. Now I watered it down a little bit too much, so in the end I just come in with some paint of my fingers and just rub a little bit more along. And in fact, when you see the finished layout, you'll wonder why I even bothered, because I've covered it all up with strips of paper. My thought was to add some strips to this left hand side for the photos to sit on, just to mimic those tall buildings that you can see in front of the sunrise. So I'm just going all in now with my fingers and rubbing that white acrylic paint all over the background. Left it to dry, and here it is now. So just grab some of the strips from the Where to Next collection. I've got this gorgeous one with the suns on. I'm cutting it around 1 inch wide, and it's about 9.5 inches tall, 10.5 inches tall. Then I just wanted this black and white just for some contrast, really, because I'm focusing in on the yellows and pinky peaches in this collection. And just cutting a load of strips, as you can see, just to sit the photos on. I'm just checking that I'm happy with that before I carry on cutting. Some of these papers, it was hard cutting into them because they're really nice patterns on the background. But I've had this collection for over a year now, and you know when you just keep saving papers for the perfect picture, and eventually you think, I just need to use it. I just need to use the bit that I want to use on this layout rather than going for second best. So that's what I've done. For example, that piece I've just put down, it's that gorgeous sunburst paper. But I think I've already used one piece, and there'll be more. There's always more in different collections, so I need to stop saving things for best and just getting them used. So I've cut my strips, positioned them more or less where I want them to go on the background, and now I'm just distressing the edges using my Tim Holtz edge distresser and then sticking them down. So as I mentioned, this is Vicki Boutin's Where to Next. The colours in this collection were just perfect, and when I saw that background paper I knew that that's what I had to use. I didn't really know what I was going to use with these photos when I first chose to scrap them, so it was great when I pulled this out and realised just how perfect it really was. So sometimes it's good to revisit collections that you've kind of forgotten about, and if you'd asked me I would have said that Where to Next was full of blues and oranges, so it was a pleasant surprise to find these tones in it. So just continuing to distress those edges and stick each piece down as I go. I'm not being too precious about how they go. I know I just want them to be offset against one another and overlapping one another to a certain degree. This last piece that I put down, I do actually leave a bit of a gap. Again, just for some interest really, and then that black and white piece is going to go over the top for some contrast, and I'm really happy with this mix of colours and the tones that I've got there. So just getting that one stuck down, and you can see pretty much covered up all that white paint. It's just ridiculous. I have these ideas and then I never take the mixed media quite far enough so that it shows as much as I'd like it to, but there you go. I couldn't be bothered going back in, and I'm very happy with the overall finished layout, so there you go. So I wanted to use a doily just to mimic the circle of the sun there, so I'm going to put that down as a mat in the bottom right hand corner of that photo. And then I decided, rather than backing the photos with white or black cardstock or some of the pattern papers, I was just going to distress the edges using my edge distresser. I've seen Nicole Santos does this an awful lot, and it looks so effective on her layout. So I thought I'd give it a go myself, and yeah, I am really pleased with the end result. So just nothing exciting, just my edge distresser and roughing up those edges, and it just takes some of the ink away from the paper so that you get the white bits showing, so that you get the differential between the photos and the pattern papers I've got behind them. So there's the first photo down, and then the second one, again, not a lot of dimension on this paper. I wanted to keep it a fairly flat page. I've got a lot of photos once again to document of our trip to New York, so the album's going to be pretty full at the end of it, so I'm being a little bit mindful of dimension that I put in this album. So just getting that photo in the right position. I don't know why I had to try so many times before I got it where I wanted it. And then I found this, it's just a tiny strip of paper. It must be from one of the pattern papers. And it just says, love this, love this, love this, repeated. So I decided that I want to stick that across the bottom of that bottom photo. So I'm just using some wet glue to get that stuck down because it's very thin and quite delicate. I think it may be from one of the paper pad papers rather than the main ones. And then I'd gone through my old stash to find the title, and I wanted to put sunrise in those big blocky black stickers. I've got a few different sheets of those, and then I spotted this best ever foam sticker from, I think it's from Gingham Garden, from American Crafts. So I thought that would fit really nicely. So I've got best ever sunrise there, and these are remark stickers. Like I say, I've got quite a few. I've got remark stickers, and I've also got scenic route stickers, so it's showing how old they all are. And I was just using my T-square ruler here on the top of the letters just to check that the top of the word sunrise is nicely below the best ever foam sticker. I didn't want to get all the way across and then realise that it was too high. So now using my T-square just to keep it in a straight line. And I know I haven't got an I, so I'm going to use one of the K's and just cut off the main, the left-hand side for the I. And I also haven't got any E's, so I'm going to use the rest of that sticker to make the F into an E, you'll see in a second. So there's the I going down. I've got an S, so I'm fine for that. And then you'll see how I do the E. So that's the F. And then I just trim one of the other stems from the K off and just stick that across the bottom. And you really can't see, unless you're looking ever so closely and know that it's there. It just looks like the word sunrise. So I was really pleased with that. So now coming in with the journaling, just to say about where our room was. We stayed in the Lotte Palace Hotel. We stayed there previously with the kids when we went in the summer when they were much younger, and it's a beautiful hotel. It's on 50th, but it's slightly off the beaten track. It's just behind St Patrick's Cathedral, so you don't get all the hustle and bustle of Times Square. It's sort of at the edge of all the touristy bits, but still right in the middle of it all, if that makes sense. So I found this sticker from the sticker sheet that says sunshine and good vibes. So I wanted to use that on there. And I really like this geotag that says here. Because this is a story about our hotel room, I just wanted to use some of these bits that sort of suggest that really. And then I spotted this red ticket that I thought would just be a nice piece to tuck behind the photo there. I'm just trying to find a few embellishments. I didn't want to go too embellishment heavy. I wanted a few little bits to go behind here. This is one of those washi tape stickers. It took me a little while to get it in the right position. I wanted it tucked nicely behind that photo, so just a little bit was showing. And then I'm carrying on through the sticker book to see what else I've got left. Some of the elements I've really gone in heavy on. There aren't any left, like those circles you can see. And the tabs, the paperclip things that go on the top are all used up. These pencils, one says adventure and one says dream. So I thought they would be fitting. And then I spotted one of these grid circles. So I thought that could be like a landing place for the rest of the bits that I add to this cluster here. So just carrying on through, you saw I added that black tab on the right hand side of the right hand photo from the 6x12 sticker sheet, and I was really pleased with that. And then I found this little tab to go on the top of the photo, and then a word phrase that just says accommodations. So again, perfect for the story that I'm telling with this layout. And then this one that says this right here, because obviously it's a sunrise that we're focusing in on. So I just grabbed one of the little puffy hearts from this to add to that little left-hand cluster there. Just goes onto that gridded circle. And then, of course, one of my EK Success Tab Punch tabs to add my date to. So I've just chosen to use craft this time rather than black. I wanted it to blend in a little bit more than the black would. So just using my roller date stamp on some scrap white card, of course, to add the date there. And I just use whichever scissors are on my desk to trim that out. It's only a very small bit, so it really doesn't matter. And then just getting that stuck down. And then seeing what else I can find. So I find some little enamel dots in my drawer in gold glitter. So these work really nicely, just dotted about the page. And then I do decide in the end that I want to come in with some gold splatters. I think when it's a sunrise or sunset, you really do need gold splatters, don't you? So just using my watercolour paint that you see me using all the time, just to add some splatters here at the end. And that's the layout done. So I hope this has provided some inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me. Do ask if you have any questions. I'd love to chat to you in the comments. And other than that, I shall see you again very soon. Thanks again. Bye.